Yeah,
You're fit, dude. What have you been eating? I know I asked you when I was texting you, but I wanted to get a full breakdown of Joe's food program.
it's almost all meat.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's the carnivore diet. It's basically living on 85 to 90% of what you eat has to be meat for calories per day.
Lebron eats as many as 5,000 calories per day. When he's in the off-season, he will eat less, as he isn't working out as much.
There's a handful of chefs who I work with, and I have one advisory chef who speaks to them, who works very closely with my strength and conditioning coach, because I am in different locations often throughout the year.
What's going on YouTube, TR Fit fam? Welcome back to the channel. If you are new, go ahead and do me a favor. Like, share, subscribe, do all that stuff. This is not a coincidence. You're here for a reason. Stay here, tune in. Joe Rogan, Andrew Tate, LeBron James, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. What do they have in common? Outside of being in shape and fit, probably nothing. But with that said, everyone is always curious to what their diet on a day-to-day looks like. So let's watch these clips together, and then at the end, we're going to discuss which one will be best for you.
It's almost all meat.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm almost entirely, that's all I eat is meat.
Okay.
Like yesterday,
we need
my
to unpack
entire
this.
day was my entire day was like 95% elk.
Wow.
Yeah. That's all I eat.
That's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
It's okay.
For me, it just seems to work. I mean, I've tried a bunch of different diets, but for me, there's a lot of benefits to this carnivore diet. And one of the biggest ones, because I do this for a living, right? So one of the biggest ones is the cognitive benefits.
Yeah.
There's some giant difference between your body running on ketones, which is essentially what it runs on when you're running on just fats and protein, versus your body running on sugar, carbs, and pasta and bread.
Yeah.
That stuff would make me crash, and I would feel dull. Like my mind would feel dull. And when I started back on the carnivore diet, like one of the first things that I noticed, like almost immediately, was that I had an extra gear verbally. I get an extra gear cognitively.
Yeah.
Like, oh, my mind is forming sentences better. Like it's quicker. I'm more in tune with conversations, which obviously because I do this for a living, it's so
Carnivore diet is basically living on 85 to 90% of what you eat has to be meat for calories per day.
Few carbs?
A little bit. You can like have a fry or around with it, but in general, it's all meat. No rice, no pasta, no big plates of chips or any carbs like that, just meat. And you can eat as much meat as you want until you're full.
So tell me about your energy level with this diet.
Yeah, so two things changed. One, the first thing that changed is I started losing body fat. And the reason I was losing body fat is when you eat only meat diet, the first few days you're quite hungry because you have like this carbohydrate hunger. Once you get past that and your body changes, there's a whole bunch of science behind it that's boring. But
ketosis.
Yeah, your body doesn't burn glucose anymore, it burns ketones.
Exactly.
So I started losing body fat. Like I was always in good shape. I was always like Hercules,
Right.
But now I started to really, like my six pack really came out. And I was like, this is crazy. And
So what exactly did James do to become such a legend? Diet. Besides having a strenuous workout regimen that helps develop James's strength, flexibility, explosiveness, and cardio, he also follows a diet of lean proteins, complex carbohydrates, and plenty of fruits and vegetables. James eats a meal every couple of hours. In the height of Olympic and NBA training, LeBron eats as many as 5,000 calories per day. When he's in the off-season, he will eat less, as he isn't working out as much. James eats a meal every couple of hours. A typical day of eating for the athlete looks like this. Breakfast. Egg sandwich with a whole grain muffin, avocado and salsa, and a smoothie made with fresh or frozen fruit and low-fat Greek yogurt. Whole grain or sprouted wheat toast, topped with peanut butter and side of Greek yogurt with blueberries. First snack, protein shake. Lunch, turkey sandwich on whole grain or sprouted wheat bread with some healthy toppings like spinach, avocado, tomato, cucumber, sprouts, and yellow mustard. Pair with a side salad or fresh fruit salad. Grilled chicken, fruit. Second snack, fruit. Dinner, salmon with pistachios. Chicken tacos with whole wheat tortilla, shredded spinach, black beans, avocados, diced tomatoes, and salsa, topped with plain Greek yogurt for a low-calorie sour cream substitute. Steamed vegetables, quinoa salad. Third snack, omelet with vegetables, turkey bacon. James follows a simple diet, but one that provides his body with all the macro and micronutrients it needs. He eats plenty of proteins, helping his body to repair and rebuild his muscles, while also eating unsaturated fats and complex carbohydrates like quinoa. He also gets plenty of fruits and veggies, making sure he gets the necessary vitamins and minerals. When you have to eat that many calories in a day, it might seem almost impossible to have a cheat meal of any kind. However, LeBron has said that his cheat meals are often those that accompany a glass of wine. If you follow him on Instagram, you'll know how much he loves his wine. He's also a huge fan of pizza with a ton of toppings.
Here's what my current approach to eating looks like. If I like it, well, I'm going to eat it. I am a real creature of habit when it comes to my diet. I usually eat the same thing every day for days and weeks and months. It's very consistent. It's very boring. It's also extremely disciplined, and that's something that I picked up from my old man, who was a hardcore gym fanatic. He was one of the first professional wrestlers who had a bodybuilder's body. So he taught me very early on not to eat to please the tongue, but eat to nourish the body. He taught me that when I was 5. It's probably why I need therapy. I do have specific approaches to counting macros. I have found over the years that the best strategies are often the ones that you never feel like you're hungry. There's a handful of chefs who I work with, and I have one advisory chef who speaks to them, who works very closely with my strength and conditioning coach, because I am in different locations often throughout the year around the world. So they work out all that math. They're much better and smarter at that than I am. I eat 6 meals a day, so I don't really have breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Although I have breakfast, that's always my meal one, but everything else fluctuates. My breakfast consists of eggs. It consists of a meat, and that is either a bison or a steak. It also consists of oatmeal. It could be brown rice cereal with a little bit of fruit. Usually it's either papaya, which I love papaya, or some blueberries, and that will be breakfast. My second meal of the day, which usually I eat around 10, 11 o'clock, that's what I consider my lunch. Usually consists of complex carb, like a rice, as well as chicken breast. I'll have some greens. I'm eating that after my workout. And my dinner could consist of either a fish or a chicken or a buffalo or a steak. And again, some sort of complex carbohydrate and a green. My go-to comfort food would have to be cheeseburger. Sometimes it's a double cheeseburger. I need some bacon on there. I need some avocado. Starts with a good, big, fat-ass bun. The French fries are important. The potato fries, too, as well. And I need some sort of sweets, sugar at the end of that. Usually some sort of cookies, maybe even a crumb cake. Yeah, those are my favorite ones. That's a great question. I never eat in the Iron Paradise. Even though the gym is equipped for that, every time I get in the Iron Paradise, it's time to rock and roll. It's time to train. My favorite carb is white rice or sweet potatoes. My sushi, I like rolls, and I like fun rolls. I love getting, like, the turquoise blast roll. I mean, whatever the fun rolls are. Because usually when I'm having my sushi, that's usually my cheat day. So I like to just go for it. I have a complicated relationship with bread. But it's a wonderful relationship. I will try anything on bread. I believe bread goes with everything.
Okay, so Joe Rogan and Andrew Tate do more of a carnivore-style diet, which they eat more meat, and they stick to pretty much, that's their foundation of their diet. It's probably 80-20, I would guess or assume, based off of the conversation that I've heard them have. And if they crave anything else in the meantime, they'll obviously grab it here and there. But outside of that, they go right back to more of a carnivore-style diet, which is more meat, some eggs, cheese, and dairy historically. Now, LeBron James and The Rock do more of a balanced diet. They don't shy away from carbs. They're not necessarily cutting out anything out of their diet. As long as it's not processed for the most part, I believe, they can eat it, they can have it. Once again, like I said before, a lot of people research these diets and simply try to implement it into their own lives and their own diets. And sometimes it doesn't work as planned, and there's reasons behind that. If you're trying to decide whether a carnivore style diet or a balanced diet will be better for you, there's a few things that you should consider before moving forward. Now, all the guys that I named obviously do well for themselves, so finances seem like just a bland statement. So let me kind of break it down a little bit. When it comes to nutrition, one, we have to track and monitor a lot more. And the other is kind of eat till you're full and do your thing, and you'll get the same results between the two. Carnivore being the one that you don't have to track. You can eat as much steak as you want, as much ground beef as you want, as much chicken as you want, till you're full or till you're satisfied, and then move on about your day. And on a carnivore diet, if you primarily eat steak, not only will you get all the vitamins that you need, fatty steak to be exact, you'll get all the vitamins that you need, and you'll eliminate a lot of cravings that you would typically have on a balanced diet. Granted, I'm not against balanced diets by any means. I've done it myself. I know it works. But here's the issue. You have to count your calories. You have to monitor every single thing that comes in. And here comes back to the financial situation. The Rock and LeBron James, not only do they have chefs, they have nutritionists paying attention to every single thing that they consume. Most people don't have the time or the resources to stay on top of that. So instead of doing so, why not just do an elimination diet such as the carnivore or meat and fruit diet? The next thing would be activity level. Now, granted, keep in mind, all of them are active. They all are in shape. Otherwise, we wouldn't be searching their diets in the first place. But the question is, which diet will fit better for a normal citizen? We just watched a video of LeBron James, and it said, during the season, he drops down his calories. Why is he dropping down his calories? Because he's not moving and as active as he usually is during the season. Now, the average American or average person in general maybe works out, an hour out the day, 30 minutes out the day, or even probably don't work out at all. So with that said, tracking and monitoring your calories is a lot harder to do if you don't know your activity level. So why not just do a diet that makes it so you don't have to worry about tracking? If you've been following along with me, you already know that I've been doing the carnivore, stem from carnivore, which is meat and fruit diet. I don't know anyone who only eats meat who's out of shape and have a bunch of fatty tissue on their body. And I don't know anyone who only eats fruit with the same thing, that's out of shape, overweight, anything of that nature. So putting those two together shouldn't be an issue, right? It hasn't been an issue. It's not a struggle for me. I know people's testimonies on the exact same thing. Not only that, I'm coaching people doing the exact same diet and they're seeing results. The reason I bring this up is I don't have to track. Yes, I do from time to time just to see where I'm at, to make sure I'm kind of paying attention to just what I'm consuming. Sometimes I give myself fitness goals and weightlifting goals, so I may track what I eat just to see how my body's responding to what I'm actually doing and what I'm eating and consuming, and putting that together to come up with the data to make sure that I'm on track to what I'm trying to reach. But outside of that, I don't have to track. I don't. With the balanced diet, you will always have to track. You will always have to adjust your calorie intake depending on your activity level. And the last thing you should consider is time. Do you have the time to do all this tracking, to keep monitoring everything that you're eating, to prep all the sides and make sure you're not still going over your calories, and also make sure that your activity level stays aligned with your calorie intake? Being on a restricted diet such as carnivore or the meat and fruit diet prevents you from doing one thing that we are all victims of, and that's grabbing something quick to eat, such as McDonald's, Chipotle's, anything that you still, once again, will have to track and count and make sure it fits in your day-to-day calorie intake and making sure that you can burn it off at the end of the day. Now, once again, I have zero problem with a balanced diet. I want to make that clear. I know it works, especially if you can track and pay attention and monitor everything that you're doing. Bodybuilders do it all the time. So for me to say that it doesn't work, I would simply be lying. But what's easier for you? A restricted diet that's simple and easy to follow, or a balanced diet with plenty of room for error? With all that said, regardless of what diet that you choose to do, whether it be carnivore, meat and fruit, or a balanced diet, the number one thing that I hope that you take away from this is, between all of those guys, all of them stay away from one thing, and that's processed foods. We pay so much attention to what they're eating that we ignore what they are not eating. And it's not the stuff that we eat. It's not grocery bag stuff like Doritos every single day. Yeah, people may enjoy one or two here and there, but they're not doing that on their day-to-day, which keeps them going, keeps them active, keep them living and looking the way that they look. So keep that in mind. All right, that's all I got. I hope that was helpful. Do me a favor, like always, leave comments below. Your experiences, your stories, whatever it may be that you feel like may help someone out, because once again, they help me. I'll try to respond to anybody that addresses me. But outside of that, y'all already know the drill. Do the YouTube stuff. Like, share, subscribe, all of that. Lastly, if you're good on the food, but you need a little more help on the exercising side, we got you covered. Join our online program where we do power, cardio, core every single day using something called a total resistance, a one-size-fits-all harness that allows you to add resistance to your workouts, and it can completely replace your gym. So if you like to work out from home, this may be the program for you. I know it's the program for you. Why? Because it worked for others. Outside of that, see y'all next time.